we have another panel coming up, this time a very practical thing. I mean, we are now going to dive into actual dApps that are using Swarm as their backbone. Can I say that? Dan, I would love to invite you and to open up your camera and your audio. Dan, are you with us tonight?
Hi, Michelle. I am.
Yes, live from the UK, somewhere in UK, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love your lighting. It's very party-like. Well done. So Dan, I will hand it over to you because you have 4 amazing projects ready to demo their stuff and to show us what they're doing on Swarm. So please go ahead and show us.
That's exactly right, Michelle. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're going to try and cram in 4 demos. So I'd like to welcome our lovely panel to show their faces if they could. We've got Attila from Farfalle, Kiki with Instaswarm, and Pierre from Vizyon. And what these guys are, they represent part of what is a nascent but very strong and enthusiastic ecosystem that lives around Swarm and really kind of believes in the mission. We will save the world. We'll get there. And so, but for the last few years, we've been having the privilege to work with the pre-existing Swarm client and learn how to kind of use that to build decentralized applications that can run in a production level environment. That means scaled, stable, and also using these new paradigms that decentralized development will lend us. And I'm going to show you a diagram to kind of give some idea of what that means. So what I have here is this is an explanation of centralized versus decentralized apps. So you can see on the left hand side we've got the past situation for Web 2. We've got this like mess of all these different components, all brittle, all kind of like single role, interconnected, many of them in places that make the architecture fractured and brittle and linear, centralized and hence insecure. And this is the kind of like, I put a box around it, like a lot of these things live in AWS and other huge kind of corporations. So you can see that these are insecure, they're centralized, they're prone to censorship and so on. And on the right hand side, we've got the decentralized analog, which is just simply 2 components really. So in the case of a hybridized app, we'll have Swarm and the blockchain, but sometimes maybe we might not even need the blockchain. And in this environment, any of these nodes getting knocked out, another one will simply take its place. So you can see we were dealing with much better, much more robust kind of environment. So to this end, we've been kind of trying to work out how to put these apps together. I've been working on an application called Fairdrop, which I'm going to play you a demo movie of so I can talk over it and save us a bit of time. So this is built entirely using just Swarm and Ethereum EVM-based blockchain backing it. So you can see, the accounts being created. That's using ENS and to handle all the key management and so on. And then we've built an application around it that enables you to store files. These are encrypted, and we've also got prototyped storage incentivization there, and you can then also send files to each other. And you can check this out on Fairdrop XYZ. It's all working. It's been running for over a year now, and we're happy with where it's at. So that's my one, and now I'm going to pass you over to Kiki next to show you another application that she's been working on called Instaswarm.
Yes, thank you, Dan. So yeah, I'm Kiki, and for a few years with Swarm City, we've been looking into how to create a peer-to-peer commerce platform. And one of the things that was always like difficult is the decentralized storage and messaging. And with Swarm coming along, it feels for us like, okay, now finally we can get this thing going. So so we kickstarted this little project that we call Instaswarm to see if we got all the building blocks together. And yeah, I'll share my screen with you. And yes, there it is. So what you see here is like, it's a live demo. So normally everything should go well, but it's like always a little bit exciting. So what you see is a feed that's pretty familiar to people, right? You get normal posts, then you get a special kind of post like a fundraiser. Fun thing is like people can just put something on there and say like, if you want to donate something, just go ahead. People can do that. People posting stuff. This is a sponsored ad basically. And the fun thing here is like how we envision it is whoever watches an ad should be rewarded for it. And again, this is fairly easy to do with contracts and stuff like that. So yeah, I watch it, I earn some money for it. Sounds fair, right? People posting things, and then the real peer-to-peer commerce platform, basically starting with someone saying, I want to sell this, who wants to buy it from me? And a little shop spins out of it. So these are like 4 basic sorts of posts that people can just put up. Okay, so now I want to start interacting with the platform. I will need a user account, right? So this is the first step that like actually works with Swarm right now. So yeah, let's create an account. So I'm gonna do it. Okay, so the only thing we use is like a mnemonic to create your key pair. So we think that people should be a little bit re-educated with not saving JSON files or hashes, but just write down these words, keep them somewhere safe, a little bit like in the old days. This is your backup for like later on restoring this or getting access to all your data that will be stored on Swarm. So what I'm gonna do now is a bad example, and I'm gonna quickly copy it. Don't do this at home. So we could go to the next step, and then, yeah, you guys know how this works, right? I have to fill in the words again. Move you guys over here. Where are my little words? Here. So now a little bit of waiting music would be nice. Okay, I got something wrong here. Oh, other words. What am I doing wrong? Word number 9. Okay, possible. And okay, so I've got like we're checking if all the words were correctly written down. So what is happening now is actually that on Swarm there's a topic created on your feed. So with your private key, we create on Swarm a feed with a topic that's user data, and all these data will be stored there. So I'm going to fill in a name. I'm going to give myself a little avatar. Yes, there I am. Now we have to encrypt our public key, private key on our device with a little password, and it's done. So this was simply the whole user creation phase. And from now on, I can just go into the app and participate. There will be some next steps, and that makes it a little bit more interesting. Like we're going to do like trust network where people have to validate each other. Like say, yeah, I like this user, he can come on board. And that way we interchange a little bit of gas for the first time use. So it's going to be a little network where it spreads out and gives more and more users the chance to interact with smart contracts that are on Ethereum. So from now on, we think like we have the two main parts, like all the things with validations, with interacting with contracts, with your wallets that can be on Ethereum, on a blockchain. Everything that's storage and your user data, all your feeds, everything you do will be stored on Swarm. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to restore it. So I'll just remove my account. It's gone. I clear my cache. So you're sure I'm not cheating? Yeah, so I say restore account. I just paste. Oh no. I just paste. I just not paste. Well, that's what happens when you do something live and it doesn't work. I'm going to cheat a little now. Huh? I'm going to do it again to show you that it really works because it's important to me. Okay, I made a new account, right? I copied it. Oh, I have to go through all this. Ali, thanks for your patience here. Yeah, I'm going to show you that my picture will come back. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I have it again. I encrypted my private key. Yes. Okay, so we've done this before. I remove my account now. Yes, I want to remove it. I'm gonna clear everything. I'm doing it again. I restore my account. Yes, there you are. Yeah, it works. So, you know, I'm not lying here. Again, I have to encrypt it because this is just on my device. It's not, it doesn't come from Swarm. Yay, yippee. So yeah, sorry for that like second round there, but I thought it was important to show you that this is actually working with Swarm. It's like fairly easy to create a user and to restore your user. Like from now at this case, it's just like your simple data, but it will be your whole feed, everything you liked, anything will be all in topics on Swarm. And you can just like move it to another account just with like restoring with your seed phrase. That was it for me. Back to you, Dan. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Great, thanks so much, Kiki. And yeah, lovely look and feel. I'm really excited to see that come together. I think there's some exciting prospects with it. And one of the things that probably is worth highlighting is that all the encryption and signing is all still based on like Ethereum compatible elliptic curve key pairs. So actually all this data in all the apps that you're seeing now is completely capable of being opened by the other apps. So we do have interoperability because the user retains control of their data in all cases. So we're going to move on now to Pierre from Vizyon. And
thank you very much, Dan.
He's going to show us the application that he's had in production for some time now.
Yes, I'm going to share my screen with you. And so I'm Pierre Durand, co-founder of Vizyon. I'm a radiologist. Well, the situation that we face is that there are only a very low radiologist number in the world, and most of them in rich country. Patients do not have access to artificial intelligence algorithm, and access to radiology is even hard in developed country. And also the privacy is often not good in available solutions. So we needed to empower the patient, and we also needed a very strong solution. Our mission it was to give access everyone to the best human and artificial intelligence radiological expertise. We had to be trustable, reliable, and fast. So we placed the patient data privacy at the center of our software. And basically, we needed to invent health tree. So we started to work 1 year and a half ago. So basically, it is health tree versus health version 1. And we had a wonderful team to do that. And then we get a solution, which is a privacy by design and trusted system, relying on Swarm and Ethereum. It's safe, it's distributed, and we have interoperability with hospitals' IT environment and reactive user interface to fluidify the process. So I'm going to share the application directly. Sorry for that. Can you see my screen? It's okay? Okay. So basically, to show the process, we have a technologist in a hospital that will receive a patient from the PAC system. Then he can just add the DICOM data from the patient. So then we add the data. The data will be hashed using Swarm, then will be added to the contract. So it's a live demo with the same constraints. We can have sample study request for the specification that we need for the patient. And then we're able to send the patient data to the radiologist. So in another part of the world, we have the radiologist. So it's okay, it's sent. We have the radiologist logging in, and then he will have access to the patient that was just sent. Here, the ability to download the DICOM of the patient. So you can see it's from Swarm and it's fast. And we have huge data transfer like this. Every day I will show some metrics later. Then read on the data of the patient. Sorry for the non-radiologist people, but for example, this was a very strong COVID infection in a patient in Africa. So you can see the ground glass opacities in the lung. Then after reading with the vocal dictation system that I will not show here that's severe COVID, then the radiologist will have the report, make a digital signature on the report, and send it. No. Here you can have the report ready. Then here I'm sorry for that. Up. The technologist can just get. We have also integration with all IT in the hospital, but okay, this is the report I just signed. So to go back to the presentation, there is a big team, and Nicolas, the lead developer, will explain you what's under the hood. Nicolas?
Yes, so can you hear me well?
Wonderful.
Okay, so now you just saw a small demonstration. So yes, let me start my my camera. So basically, we use a stack with a smart contract to handle all the business logic. So all the rights, the roles, different part of the process, using a finite state machine to have a provable system to enforce reliability. And with this as our data layer, we use the Swarm infrastructure. So with all this stack, we can mimic the kind of stack everyone knows right now with the crude interface. And what is really interesting is that because the system works really well, it's quite transparent that we are using a fully decentralized system for most of our users. So now on the next slide, we'll see how the system works. So basically, we created a multi-actor trust universe. You can see that you have a small V engine. We consist of a guest and swarm node. Inside the health center, can be different sides of the health center. Then it will be connected to some V engine that some radiologists will use, but between we can add some AI system, can be different parts of the world to pre-process and do pre-diagnosis on anonymized data. And then we can also have other workflow included, like ordering pizza for radiology during their duty, or completely other process to handle only pure AI system, for example, what we did in the COVID. So basically, with the architecture with the smart contract enable us to connect all the different actors which have different systems inside one platform without managing the trust issue we can have on other system. So to give you some small metrics, for each exam that Pierre, for example, download, is there between 10 and 500 megabytes. With that, you have to add some study requests and some reports that are at most few megabytes. But still, there's some very big exams that are coming inside the Swarm network to be hashed and sent to our system. We have nodes on the 5 continents. We even made tests with a node on Haiti to send it from Paris to Haiti. So basically, we have an exam that made a round trip around the world. We have full encryption of all the data because they are private data. They are very sensitive data as they have involved health data for patients, which led to a gigabyte of data exchange daily with all our patients. Means that a big load of data for network, and since the very beginning, it was a few tera of data exchange on our own Swarm system, and all this using the release version, so not modifying anything, just having some flag for our network.
So to talk about the achievements, right now we are treating about 1,500 patients every month and more than 6,000 patients to date, most of them in less than 1 hour. We were able to fully give an artificial intelligence plugin tool for COVID diagnosis. We gave it for free in hospitals in France during the COVID crisis. In less than 24 hours, because of the strong team we have, we were able to be fully integrated into the hospital IT environment. And we are also able to plug closing radiology facility in the east of France. They were closing. We have been saving 7 jobs. It's a big achievement for us. Now we are running nodes and customers on 5 continents. We have been granted by EIT Health grant because they recognize our expertise in patient privacy management. And within 2 weeks, we will also store some genomic data of patients, the DNA, which is a very sensitive information, using our network on Swarm. So to showcase of some pictures with a patient, you saw a COVID patient on the left here. It's a tuberculosis on the 14-year-old patient in Congo. On the right, it's a COVID patient that was diagnosed automatically using artificial intelligence plugin on our system. So we have created a decentralized radiology platform. Blockchain was used to create a positive social and ethical impact for everyone, everywhere, to have a benefit for the people. And we think that healthcare applications can be a flagship of the decentralization ecosystem. And this is why we are building the Health3 platform. And we would like to special thanks to the Swarm and Ethereum teams, because nothing would have been possible without you. Those are our partners. We thank them also. And thank you very much.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Pierre. Some really great work there. And it's great to see Swarm working in production, moving terabytes of data, and providing real human impacts, like going back to what Geordie was saying. So that's what we're here for at the end of the day. Now I'd like to move on to Attila. He's got a slightly different take on working with Swarm, whereas all these other applications have been hybrid applications that also involve a blockchain. Attila actually doesn't need it for his applications. He builds with just Swarm. So we're going to see some examples of that. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Attila, and I'm from the Felfele Foundation. And we are building decentralized social applications and protocols. And I would like to talk about two projects today. And the first one is called SwapChat, which we built on last year in Madrid with Luis from the Swarm team and then from Fair Data Society. And it's an anonymous, ephemeral, end-to-end encrypted chat application, which is quite a mouthful. So I will show you what it is because it's easier to understand. I will share my screen. So basically, it's a dapp that is running on Swarm, and it's using Swarm. And I will just fire it up. Oops. Right. All right. So this is how it looks like. It's loading. It's quite slow. But yeah, here it is. So it generated a QR code and the link. And this is, oh, this is a surprise because demo effect. Somehow I just got connected alone, which is surprising. So, so this is Alice. She opens this window. She wants to share something with Bob in private. Oh. And never mind.
I think we might have found a security issue.
Yeah, it seems like someone is joining.
Please stop trolling us.
All right, let me try again. Hey. Okay. So you have to copy the link or scan the QR code and then send it over to Bob, who opens this. And then there will be a connection between the two. Yes, we are connected. Hey, Bob. Hey, Alice. So this is how it works. It's very simple, but it can be used to send over like links or keys between different devices or different people. I use it sometimes to share things on my TV or things like this, but this is not a production-ready application, but it's a very good demo of what you can do with Swarm. And actually it works by using Swarm feeds and Swarm row feeds, which is also called single owner chunks in a way. And I will show diagram how it works. So basically, Alice creates two keepers in the beginning, an ephemeral identity for herself and a temporary feed identity, which she sends over to Bob in the link or in the QR code, along with her public key. Then Bob also creates his ephemeral identity, and at that point, Bob can create a shared secret with an elliptic key Diffie-Hellman. And then Bob sends back on this temporary feed, which he has write access, his own public key. And then Alice posts this temporary feed, and then she receives Bob's public key. They both have the shared secret, and then they can set up a private encrypted communication channel, and then they can pull each other's ephemeral identity feed for updates. And so this is like, you know, it's a toy application. We wanted to like make sure that it looks like a toy. It's like using this 8-bit style, which I like very much. But also it turns out that this thing is very useful because you can use this to set up any kind of, like, you can use this for basically for public key exchange, and this is a big problem. So the other project we are working on is a social media application, which is called Niche, and it's a mobile application, and we decided to try to build this as much as you can on Swarm, and hide as much as details of the blockchain from the users, because that can be really intimidating for like everyday users who are not programmers or developers. You know, these very long numbers are very intimidating sometimes. So we decided to use this key exchange process, which I just described, to basically to bootstrap the network, so that you can send over these links or scan the QR codes with phones and send over the links on existing messaging applications and platforms. And with that, you can build your own network. And we are trying to build a different kind of social network, because we think that like building Facebook on Swarm would just result Facebook on Swarm, and that may not be the thing that we would like. So we are building a private application where there are no ads, and we anticipate the Swarm platform's payment channels, so that users can pay directly for their content, and they can actually, you know, like make sure that your data is stored. And yeah, the good thing is what Dan mentioned before, that like all this data, well, we use also the Ethereum identities that is interoperable with others, and also all this, what I showed you, is open source, and we are building open protocols. So this can be potentially shared with other applications, and the data belongs to the user. And yeah, I think one thing I want to add to this whole presentation is that I think that, so we like Swarm because we feel like that it has the potential to become a full-fledged application platform, not only a storage layer where you store information. So this was my presentation, and back to Dan.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for that, Attila. Yeah, I love the niche. It's looking amazing. I think some great ideas. And again, it's like beautiful humanistic altruism born out of Swarm, which is what we like to see. As well as that, Attila's also been working on another project in the last couple of weeks with Lewis from Swarm team, building on top of B. Now, B represents sort of a bit of a shift change in the way that we're approaching things in terms of building on Swarm. If you could turn the screen share off, Attila. I'll briefly show you guys where you can find out more information about this. We're a bit stuffed for time, so I'll be brief. So the Book of Swarm has been recently released, and you can see, go to the table of contents, you'll find section 2, chapter 2, very much around network, and then this is pretty much kind of comprises the disk, so the chunk level distribution of data amongst the network. But if you go down through incentives to chapter 4, you'll find the high level functionality section, and this is where all these higher data constructs and kind of like methodologies that have been thought over the last 5 years and are really distilled down into something that we're looking forward to building. So take a quick look at that. You can see that this, so we go from like chunk level up through files, directories, feeds, various different indexing systems and integrity protection, messaging constructs using PSS. So that's the third part of the Trinity, the messaging component, which is something that's relatively new. I'm really looking forward to developing some apps using that. And then also we've got very exciting prospects down here on page 162, if I remember right. This is a diagram showing all the different low-level primitives that are existing in Swarm, which we've really managed to distill into something very kind of like specific and concise. And so the plan is here to implement DSL, domain-specific language, called Buzz, which will vastly improve the possibilities of being able to run code in Swarm with proper integrity protection and give a whole new level of security to the user. So that's just a taster and something that we'll be looking at in the future. So I'll just wrap up now and say thanks so much to our beautiful panelists for showing the demos. If you'd like to get in touch with us and talk about apps or find out more, please check out the website. You can speak to us on Mattermost anytime you like, and of course read the book. And then finally, just like to reveal that we are in the process of releasing some grants. We're launching those today. So follow normal channels to find out how to apply. But there's 10 grants of max 10K DAI worth of BZZ tokens up for grabs for the best applicants. And so do check that out and get in touch with us. We're excited to see what you guys come up with. With that, no further ado, thanks to everyone, and back to Michelle.
Well, Dan, thank you so much. Yeah, those were like awesome demos. Thank you so much for that. You found some brilliant people who are working on really great stuff.